to the Matriarchs, the podcast where we have real, honest conversation to help teen girls and young women navigate life and help build their confidence. I'm Meg, and today we're diving into something that could honestly change your life, the power of getting involved. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a cycle of just school, work, and just endless scrolling? Today, we are going to talk about joining activities such as sports, clubs, any type of group setting that could be the key to unlocking opportunities, friendships, and the confidence that you didn't know you had.
Obviously, one thing that we're going to dive into is why these activities and different groups to get involved in are so important. It really is. I guess it just overall improves so much about someone's life, just the connections, but we'll dive into that. And it's proven that teens who are involved in extracurricular activities and community service demonstrate improved overall health and well-being. I know I experienced that as a kid growing up, and even, like through my teen years, early adulthood, and I would say even still. I mean, it's just so important to be plugged in to some kind of a community. And, it even reduces the risk of risky behavior. It improves academic performance. It increases just that sense of belonging and community. And it's easy if you're shy or don't have someone in your life who's encouraging it. It's easy to just think that the easier path is to not get involved. But I can promise you it is so worth it. Even if you have to get out of your comfort zone to go do something that makes you really uncomfortable at first, or if you're afraid to meet new people, that's totally understandable. But we're going to really urge you to get out of your comfort zones and make some new connections. So also volunteering has shown a positive impact on a person's mental health. It reduces anxiety, depression. It fosters social skills, leadership skills, and again, just kind of builds into that community. So,
yeah, I have noticed this with myself lately. It's so hard for me because I am kind of shy and I don't want to say I'm not social, because I love to be around people and I thrive when I am around other people, but I just have a hard time, forming those bonds with people that I don't know and putting myself out there.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that when I do it and I volunteer for different things or I get involved in, different settings, then I just feel better. You feel happier and it just changes your overall well-being, I feel like.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. I think, there are so many different statistics that are out there, and Meg and I decided not to dive too deep into the statistics. You can kind of do some research yourself, and we encourage you to do that. But kind of in a nutshell, it really does improve your school. You typically do better in school. You miss less school. It increases your self-esteem. And as we talked in a previous episode, it increases your confidence. It's the number one way to increase your confidence is to learn a new skill or get involved in an activity and be involved in some sort of community, as we mentioned, reduces depression, and you just get more of a positive peer influence. But there are some pretty serious statistics around it. So we do encourage you to kind of look that up and Google it and just kind of do some research on your own on why it's so important. But
yeah, it can help build confidence. It can help you figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are and, what you need to work on. And then it can teach leadership, teamwork, communication, all of these important things that you need later on in life. Like when you do get out into the world and start a career or even going to college or, trade school, anything that you decide to do, it can all help with that.
I agree. In fact, most of us are going to advance to the next level after school, right? Whether it's going right into a career or, like you said, trade school or college or whatever that may be. And in most cases, they look to see what your involvement is. What activities were you involved in? What volunteer work did you do? And because they know that it makes an impact on a person, but it helps kind of shape us as human beings, right? And so they do look for that on your resume. They do ask for that. And so it's good to understand that so that you can start building that up, but not only for the importance of advancing, into adulthood, but just like Megan and I mentioned, all the things that it helps you with now. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And, I think, you hear stories of like this younger generation feeling isolated because of social media. So they're not as social, and getting into these activities and out into the community and getting in with a group of people, it reduces that feeling of isolation. In fact, it can be life-changing, honestly. So
right. Yeah.
Do you have like a personal story, Meg, or something you want to share? If not, I'll try to think of one I think it would be good for us to like, I don't know. You want me to go first?
Sure. Yeah.
I just think about like, I was involved in sports. Like that was my thing, sports. And then as I got older, I got involved in the church youth group, and it taught me a lot about like selflessness, because suddenly you're working as a team, right? And then like serving others and, just growing leadership skills. I feel like it helped my confidence tremendously. Yeah. And then when I went on after high school, I kind of felt like there was nothing I couldn't do. And I think a little bit that stemmed from just how much that community built me up, whether it was sports or going on a mission trip or being involved in the youth group or doing a lot of volunteer work around the community. Yeah, I just kind of felt like there wasn't a lot that I couldn't accomplish. And I definitely think that played a huge role. So,
yeah, I know I've mentioned before that my mom let me quit a lot of things, and I really wish. I mean, I know I've mentioned like nothing against her. She didn't. She was learning too, but she let me quit a lot of things whenever it got tough or I just felt uncomfortable or anything like that. And so I wish that I would have put myself out there more and done more. Yeah. I did my senior year try out with a friend for softball, and no one was cut, so I made the team. But I think just youth group was my thing, because we were all so super close. We did everything together. We were together all, every weekend, and I had so many friends that empowered me and built me up and made me feel good. And hopefully they would say the same about me and how I felt, made them feel. And so, I just think I think we were made to be around people. We were made to be social, and it's very important to step out of your comfort zone and do things like that. And when it gets hard or you feel uncomfortable, I feel like you should keep going. Keep trying it, get back out there and make yourself uncomfortable, because that's where you grow.
That's exactly right. I'm glad you said that, because it is true. That is where you grow. And I know like a lot of your friends that you still have today were from youth group, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can make lifelong friendships.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. I think, there's so many different groups or activities that you can get involved with, like different school clubs, like drama, debate, student government, robotics. I mean, there's just a list. There's sports, it could be intramural, it could be rec leagues, competitive, whatever. And, there's the community groups like just volunteering, Girl Scouts, 4-H.
There's art classes. There's so many options around us that people need volunteers for. I recently volunteered for Hillcrest, and it was so amazing to see like all the things that they do for, the people that live there and stuff like that. And so it just, I don't know. There's so many different ways to get involved with things. I feel like we could even share some maybe on social media to help with ideas.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely do that. But like if you need help trying to like come up with ideas, reach out to us. We'll put some stuff on social media. I think it's just such an important aspect of life. And, the statistics proves it. I mean, over and over again, how important it is to be involved and have community and, to get out of your comfort zone. And So
Yeah.
we just want to encourage you. And I know not everyone, it doesn't come easy for everyone. Some people are super shy or bashful. Some people don't have rides to and from, or, sometimes it costs money and you don't have the resources. I can promise you, like, we can help with the resources. We're going to do a whole podcast on nonprofit organizations and different groups that help offer different scholarships. And I mean, we're going to go over all of that, but there's ways for you to get involved, even if you feel like there aren't. And we just want to make sure that we're helping you guys get plugged in. And so don't hesitate to reach out if you guys need resources that you don't have currently, and I know a lot of parents are happy to give rides and, to pick you up or to drop you off or just to help carpool. And so just don't be afraid to ask. And we know it'll be life-changing. So we definitely want to encourage that. I know there's like this one group that I've been seeing a lot about, and I just think it's so, this may sound, maybe this is just my age group and generation, but like hiking clubs and hiking groups, that's becoming like a very popular thing. And I don't know, I don't know if I would have loved it as much in my teen years. I know Grace loves to walk, and she's almost 20, but there are just so many different things. And I just kind of think that hiking club sounds a little fun.
Well, and she started kind of her own club too, right? To get involved in.
Yeah. So Grace's freshman year, she decided not to join a sorority, which is like the easiest way to make friends. So instead, she decided to start her own club. So she started with 0 members, and she went to a fair that they had, and where she had like a booth and just told people what her club was about. And then now they're up to like over 300 members, and it's called Letters of Love. And they make cards for kids that are in hospitals. And it's just so amazing. She's met so many people through her club, and she looks forward to it every month. They have one main meeting a month, and then they have little ones, but she just loves it. It's really done a lot for her, just getting involved and, just feeling proud for, the work that she's put into it. And so, and you can start a club. That's a great point, Meg. Like, if there's not a club or some group that interests you, then you can start one. And if you need help with that, also feel free to reach out. We can help, guide and direct you and give you pointers on how to do that. Or if you need resources, we can help with that too. So that's a good point.
I feel like that's one of the most important times to get involved is when you move away from family and friends, when, especially your freshman year of college, or if you have to move away for trade school, whatever it is that you decide to do. When you're moving away from family and friends and you don't really know many people, that's the most important time, I feel like, to get involved and put yourself out there so that you don't start to feel isolated or anxious or, any of those feelings that come along with that.
I agree. I thought of something too. Like, I know being on the parent page at Grace's college, there's a lot of parents that say, like, my kid's really struggling. They feel alone right now. Like, they don't have a lot of friends. They can't seem to get connected. And so, one thing I encourage Grace to do is she loves to walk. And a couple of her best friends left college and moved or changed schools. And so there was a short period of time where she was just like, it does feel lonely at times. But she loves to walk. And I was like, why don't you start a walking club? And it's just know that, like, there are other people out there that are definitely feeling the same as you. And so if you do step out and you do start a club, or, it could help a lot of people, not just yourself too. So
yeah,
the possibilities are endless. So, okay, girly. So now that we talked about the importance of involvement and community, we want to jump into reminding you guys that we have a mystery giveaway that we are going to be announcing here. I forget when. We'll put it on social media, but we wanted to tell you. So the mystery contents are worth about $75. But then we got a spray ground backpack donated, and the mystery contents are going to be inside of the spray ground backpack. So this mystery gift is going to end up equaling like $150, which is super cool. And I know how popular these spray ground backpacks are. So we'll post a picture of it. And then the contents on the inside will remain a mystery for the rest of the build up to the giveaway. And so keep an eye out on our social media and for more details on when we're going to announce our winner and sneak peek into what the backpack looks like. And be sure to tell your friends and share it. And go look up ways on our social media to find out how you can get entered into our drawing. Okay, girls, so getting involved isn't about being the best. It's about showing up. It's about trying new things. It's about finding your people. And this week, we want you to challenge yourself. We want you to find one new thing to try, one new group, or create your own club. And we'd love to hear about it. If you guys do end up getting involved or creating a club, we definitely want to hear about it. And we'd be happy to, send out some kudos for that. So be sure to sign up, show up. You never know what magic is waiting for you on the other side. And remember, life's too short to sit on the sidelines. So your story is happening now. Go make it count.